Yes, sir. We back on the app. Um, got a brother here with me. I'll let him introduce himself, and we're gonna get right to it to let the people know.
What up, though? It's your brother Mike X. Y'all might know me from the 17 Winners podcast or from shit in the city.
Brother Mike X, man. I brought this brother on today because I pay attention to how people think and how people carry themselves. Specifically, majority of everything being online, so all you can go off of is what people post and how they how they interact with other people. So I seen something that made me kind of struck a match in me, and I came up with an idea, and the idea was something I think black people, black men specifically struggle with, and is whether something is, in my opinion, solid or stupid. So what sparked it was, I don't know if you've seen it, C Murder case.
Just got denied. I saw that.
And I heard some stuff about it that, or seen some stuff about it that I didn't know before. Now I don't know if it's true or not, but for conversational purposes, it's the perfect thing to talk about because that applies to a bunch of stuff. So from my understanding, he they said the person, a lot of people in New Orleans say the person that actually did that killing is dead now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that can somehow play into C Murder being set free or what it is, but whatever the case is, he's not rolling with that. He's like, I'm gonna do my own appeal and try to get out on my own. And obviously they done shot it down this last time. Mm-hmm. Now, where the solid or stupid thing comes in, some people would say that is stupid. It's like if the person that actually did it is dead, why wouldn't you say that, clear your name, and get out here? Other people on the other side that say no, that's solid because we know how to with the system and the no snitching and all of that goes. The idea most people have is anytime you cooperate, anytime you put involve somebody else is wrong. The reason I handpicked you to come do this is because I know you've been down through there. You've been through that system before. Not only that, but you came out on the other side of it, which is the most important part of it to me.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because a lot of people go through it and end up going right back, didn't learn a doggone thing from it. So, in your opinion, to start with that, where do you weigh it? Is that solid or is that stupid what he did?
So, damn. Oh, matter of fact, before I do that, I reached up and touched my hat. And
shout it out,
man.
Man.
Shout out to my dog, 420 Cannabis, premium cannabis, premium smoke at a not premium price. Bowls always around. But yeah, back to the question, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That is really an interesting question for me because it's something that I've been struggling with in recent days, like in the last maybe 6 months or so, when I think about the moral code or the street code that I stood on.
That's exactly
compared to the person that I am today.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, I always considered myself a high integrity street nigga.
Break that down, because some people.
I was just I know that it's an oxymoron, right? It don't really make sense, and when you unravel it, right? And we can go into that a little further too, right?
Yeah.
But when you unravel the reality of the integrity of a high level street nigga, a moral type of guy,
mm-hmm.
The moral shift depending on circumstance in the street. And we, like I said, we can get into it later. But I at the base level, I consider myself a high level because I ain't finna do nothing to no kids. I ain't finna do nothing to no woman. I ain't stealing from my mans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't finna cross you out about no woman or
there's levels to it.
You know, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I felt like, you know, I stood on a high ground. I ain't never telling. I ain't never folded. I went to the penitentiary at 18 years old.
And then how long?
17 altogether. But when I went to the penitentiary, if I'm being honest, the only person I had the opportunity to tell on was my co-defendant, which is my brother Sidney.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did I refuse to do that, I was willing to take the case because he had just had a baby. His son was 2 months old. So I was like, put it all on me.
Yeah.
And I can do it. I'm 18. This ain't even gonna be nothing. So I wasn't even.
You felt
tripping.
like, hold on, you felt like that back then? You felt like that?
So I just came to the reality that like I've always had a certain level of self-awareness. When I was in the street, it was always in my mind that I'm going to the penitentiary. This was part of my elevation. Like I know this is part of the process. I'm gonna have to shoot somebody. I'm gonna have to rob somebody. I'm gonna have to steal a car. I'm gonna have to do. Like I thought you had to do every aspect of the street activity to be considered a real street nigga. I'm gonna have to sell some dope. I had to do everything.
The whole experience. I never heard nobody put it like
this. This was my perspective as a
yeah.
When I got in the mix, I was like, okay, to validate my street credibility, I have to do it all. So like shit, it was damn near nothing that I wasn't willing to do, except for, like I said, target women,
the scumbag
and
shit.
children or old people.
Yeah.
I ain't do it. I remember one time it was presented to me like, bro, let's just snatch some purses. No, nigga, I ain't snatching no purses.
Scumbag activity.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I ain't doing all that, man. No.
But the reason why I say that the high level of morals for street code don't really exist because I also done been inside of a robbery situation where I done grabbed a child and said, I'll smoke your baby if you don't go get what I say go get. And I wasn't playing. If they wouldn't have did what I said, I was going to have to do what I said.
This shit got deep already.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, my morals slid in that circumstance because I came to get this money and this dope.
Either way, you either all in or all out is what I'm picking up from.
Exactly. So, once I started going, like, mind you, this ain't stuff that I realized at the time. This is all stuff that I'm recognizing, honestly, in my 40s now. Like, looking back and saying, damn, all of that street shit, all them street morals that I thought I had, they really would change depending on the circumstance. Like, no, I would never snitch. But, like, I would do something to a woman or an old person or a kid or... Like, there were certain things that I still would be willing to do. And when I look back at the whole landscape, most of the niggas that I was running the street with, not even the ones I was running the street with, most niggas running the street, from my perspective, from what I've seen, like real evidence of, most of them don't stand by those same rules that I was standing so strongly by.
I wouldn't think so, man. It's like, that's kind of that's where it gets muddy at for most people because they think that those are the type of individuals they're involved with, and that's not how it rolls. For every one that thinks like you is 9, 8
that think
like, man, hell no. They bending the hell out them rules. Like but that's like when the self-preservation aspect kicks in, which is going to kick in. That's when the telling part, the doing this to that person, that's all that shit go out the window when it's time.
That's why I always go back to when people be like, man, see, back in the day, it wasn't like, nigga, it was.
Right.
They were lying.
Yeah.
Them niggas was lying to us. Like, ain't no back in the day, the streets wasn't like this.
Back in the day, it was janky, too.
Think about it. Like, when you really think back.
It was cutthroat back then, too.
You don't get the Frank Lucas's, nigga, if they wasn't snitching.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, these niggas was telling. All of these big OGs, when you get to the penitentiary, you get to recognizing the ones who stayed solid be in that motherfucker starving. Nobody writes them no more. Nobody comes to see them. They can't call nobody. They've been in there. They're getting old. They walk around on canes. And 20 years ago, they chose to tell young niggas that come in the joint, hey, young dog, if you ain't got life, don't go back out there and get it.
Right.
That's what my experience in the penitentiary was. When I got there at 18, I got that bitch. I was wild. It's on. What y'all say, Lansing soft shit? I'm finna show y'all. What y'all say, Southside niggas ain't? Oh, I'm finna show y'all. And I spent my first few years in that bitch showing these niggas, oh no, Lansing on the map. We about all the shit y'all about. And you know what happened with me? Old niggas kept pulling me to the side. Hey, young dog, why you so wild? Like, we know you a gangster for real.
Why you keep pushing that line like that?
Why you keep pushing? Because I'm trying to prove. I'm trying to stand on business for my city and for my hood and for my niggas and for my reputation in the street. Until I was continued. Like, it took a few.
You got burnt out doing it, or what?
No,
Kind
it
of
took
you off that?
took older guys.
Yeah.
Mind you, I learned manhood in prison.
Yeah.
Feel me? So like I bumped into the penitentiary. My whole street career was looking at other men trying to figure out what manhood was. So I'm looking at men as like, okay, the homie guy, he driving this, the chicks like him, and what he do to get there. And I just wanted to be able to be the man that I envisioned as what like manhood looked like. When I got to the penitentiary, like the penitentiary gives you a rude awakening of the world for real. Like I'm talking about, nigga, I got there, I was in GED class. I walk up in the GED class, bro, they in there trading freak books. Niggas is fucking fags. They selling dope. They doing dope. Teachers don't care about nothing. Niggas is getting stabbed.
Right.
And I'm in here, I'm 18 years old. I'm in here genuinely trying to figure out how to get a GED.
And they're like, no,
everything else is going on in here. So I was like, okay, so none of these.
They're doing everything but learning. They're like,
right. So like then you walk the yard and it's like, okay, what do strength look like in here?
Right.
And that's what I started paying attention to. Okay, these the type of niggas that I want to be.
Yeah.
Okay. And I started modeling after that.
Yeah.
And those were also the type who would grab me and say, hey, young dog, come here, let me holler at you. Let's walk a lap. And we walk a lap and they put some, put some game in my ear, young dog. Hey, man, you do know you can't beat the police while you in here, right? I don't give a fuck how many of them you get.
They're hitting you with a whole different
level
of things.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that. So yeah.
So if you was in if you was in C Murder's shoes, which side of that, which end of the spectrum you think you would have been, you know?
I feel like honestly you can't tell on the dead, man. In my shoes, like if that story, that scenario is real, then
hypothetically,
like
that's really what happened.
Dead, who actually did it is dead. Man, we putting it all on him.
Cause you think if I'm the dead nigga,
put it on me.
Man, this whole courtroom can if
there's nothing that can be done to me and I'm dead.
I'm dead. That's why I'm like that's stupid. But when we talk about street morals,
so again,
it's like come on, man. A lot of 80% of that, from my opinion, 80% of it is garbage. They don't stick to it when it's them.
Yep.
They only voice that when it's other.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing about it. So, in your opinion, what is worth? Say when it comes to going and doing time, say if it's 10, 50 years to you, if there's anything, I know, kids, wife, we know those are like
so
the obvious answers.
If I do it, if I'm a part of the commission of the crime, I'm willing to go do all of the time. And I ain't gonna say nothing about nothing. And I'm gonna go lay back.
And this is, I'm talking, you're thinking after you've done the 17.
This is what I'm thinking right now today. If me and you go do something, and I know we and you gonna do something wrong, and we get caught, or I get caught, and you get away, or whatever, that's just how that lands. And I'm gonna just deal with my situation. But now, if I come kick it with you, and you do some shit,
I was getting to that. You read my mind.
And you don't tell me,
hey
bro, I got this going on. I'm finna make this move. And you do something, I'm probably still not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna see how the chips fall. Because what I do know is their law is a peculiar thing where there are ways to beat crimes whether you did it or not. You know what I'm saying? And part of that is having money and resources.
Yeah.
And I'm a person that's in the position these days to be able to fight a little better than I could when I was an 18-year-old in the street. I'll say that.
You know what I like doing, man? I like asking random questions to my friends, and it always catch them off guard because I like putting people in a position where they have to think, where they have to answer in a way that if you're being honest, I already know what you're gonna say. If you're being honest,
gotcha. But
I like to ask people. I'm not saying you. I'm saying to people. I do this all the time, every other day. So say for instance, I ask a couple of my boys, like, say if your little brother is riding with one of his friends do something to somebody, your little brother don't know nothing about it, and they both end up going to jail. Now you know for a fact your little brother didn't have nothing to do with this, but his homeboy ain't saying nothing. Now the story sounds grand and elaborate, but this is really how I'd imagine shit go with these kids. So his homeboy don't say nothing. Your brother think he doing the right thing by not saying nothing. What do you do when you know the truth? You know this your brother homeboy to smoke somebody.
And my brother ain't in the street. This
Your
is
brother,
just his homeboy.
Yeah, they acquaintances. He can be from school, sport.
They played basketball together. They grew up together because it's Lansing, right?
And we know
it's a small city, and we all kind of know each other.
And we know how fast shit can go left and get out of hand. All it takes is y'all to pull up to the wrong store that homeboy done seen so and so from whenever.
It was on social media.
All it takes is 3 minutes for that to get out of hand.
For sure.
So, and I asked my friends and what they would do in a situation like that. Like, are you going to let your brother take that fall, or what do you do to protect your brother? And some of them said, well, the general consensus was get at the friend in a way to make him fess up to it. But it's like, okay, well, how you do that?
Yeah, how you do it? He in the jail.
Physically, like logically, how do you do that?
Right.
They
without
both
getting
locked
yourself
up.
in more trouble.
Or do you go to the police? Do you go to whoever and say, I know exactly what happened? Especially say if you got proof of it. You got your brother's phone to text something to show what didn't actually happen. This is another solid or stupid thing. It's like, I'm asking you now.
So my brother is in jail. They both fighting this murder.
Yeah.
The first thing I'm gonna tell my brother is keep your mouth closed. Because without you saying anything, they don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
All they're doing is building their case based on what they've gathered so far.
Yeah.
So first things first, don't say anything, because anything you say can and will be used against you. And when they say that, like, I don't think people understand. When they say it can and will, that means that you don't have to say anything in a specific sequence.
They can piece it together.
They can piece it together, take out words, move words, and make your statement confession. So say nothing, first and foremost. Use no words with them. Mm-hmm. You call me. You call the lawyer. Mm-hmm. The second thing I'm doing is hiring a lawyer for my brother. And if we can't afford to hire a lawyer, then I'm going to look up any resource that exists where they got some level of pro bono lawyers that you can go to. And then from there, there's organizations like here in Lansing, this First Hub. I would go to them. Y'all,
what is I never heard of them.
So they are an organization. That's my people, Elias and Melinda. They got a organization where it's actually a couple of them here in Lansing where they go to the courthouse and they do courthouse support for people who are going through this side of the court system.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like who people caught a case, who fighting the case.
Yeah.
Because the reality is nobody wins when the family feuds. So every side of a violent case hurts everybody.
Right.
The person who dies, family is hurt. The person who killed that person, family is hurt. Mm-hmm. You're gonna lose your son or daughter too, inside a prison, and like that. So there's a whole thing, and it's all in one community. It's all us, right? So it not only hurts that family, but it also connects in our community. So like, I would go through all of those channels first and foremost. Mm-hmm. Now, if we come down and we got the proof, and my brother didn't do it, bro. Okay, now you not no street nigga. Get your ass up there and testify to this evidence that we got.
Yeah.
That you don't know nothing about this. Because I don't give a fuck about no street cred. Especially at this point, right? Because, again, I am unraveling my street ethics and my street morals. Because, mind you, they're built on maneuvering inside of a system that was a trick in the first place.
I feel like a lot of the times we can sit and talk about how stupid, like, a lot of the street morals are. But obviously to me, in my opinion, there's a silver lining in everything. So to you, as somebody that's been through it, did the time, been actually in the street, wasn't pump faking, just went to the extremes with it,
right,
from what I'm understanding.
Right.
What is the silver lining in all of that from up until you did the 17 years, during the 17 years, after? What is like the main takeaway that you can give? What's that jewel you can give to the youth that don't necessarily... It's hard when they don't have that guidance at home and they're only getting bits and pieces of it, you know, from the dudes in the neighborhood that will pull them to the side.
Oh, that's an easy answer, bro.
Yeah.
My lived experience. My lived experience is everything because I have the credibility of having done it all the right or wrong way, however you want to call it.
And the youth
right?
respects that. They respect when they know they're hearing it from
They
somebody
know
that
you
then.
dog done did it all.
Yeah.
Dog done all of the not snitching. I done went to the joint. I didn't tell and did all of those things. And I'm telling you, I don't think those things made sense, bro. I think all of that shit was some bullshit. Once we deconstructed all, I think it all was some bullshit, bro. So like, let's start back here. That's why I started programs in the community. That's where the whole New Lansing thing has come from. It has taken its own life in the social media world because like a lot of our local artists are grabbing a hold to it and either they're like bucking against it or they're riding with it.
Yeah.
But it really don't got nothing to do with rap. The whole New Lansing thing was about youth and reorienting them in what they can be in their own city. Because like I'm saying, all of what we thought was real was some bullshit. Whole time we in our little hood identities and what we doing and what we think we doing, they're building shit around us and kicking us to different sides. I remember when I moved to Lansing when we were in '93. The South Side was a side of town where it wasn't nothing really happening. My mama thought that was the suburbs. That was like, I remember her finding the house in Coach Light and like, baby, I got us out the hood.
Do you know, my mom told me, real quick, you know the history of the South Side and how at first it was just the West Side. My mom broke that down to me. I never knew that.
Yeah, I'm a Lansing historian.
I never knew that. I mean, but it makes sense. And now you look at the South Side now, and it's like,
all you gotta do is look. You can't get to the South Side without crossing the body of water. That's for a reason.
break it down.
We was not supposed to be over there. You have to cross water to get to the South Side from any part of Lansing.
Okay, whatever. Okay, yeah.
You have to cross water, bro.
Yeah.
We was not supposed to be going over there. We started going over there because they wanted other sections of Lansing back. You know what I'm saying? Like the West Side and the downtown district. And we're over there on the Martin Luther King corridor where they built I-96.
Yeah.
They displaced everybody and people started moving over there. My granny had a house on Inverness. She was one of the first black people. They home was one of the first black-owned homes on that part of the city. On the deed to their home, it said this should not be home shouldn't be sold to colors. So like, when I be talking about Lansing, I'm talking about Lansing.
You talking about way back?
I know how Lansing. I know a lot about the development of Lansing and how we got to where we are. Mind you, Malcolm X, his story. I connected to his story while inside. I joined the Nation of Islam, and he became like the beacon for me because I was like, okay, dog from where I'm from.
Yeah.
And he one of the top knownest brothers in the Nation of Islam.
To connect to 1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? So it gave me something to aspire to. So by the time I got ready to come home from the penitentiary, in my mind, everything that I wanted to do was set examples for young people to be able to have something to aspire to being from here.
Yeah.
Because what you always hear is niggas trying to get away from here. I remember when I was getting older and around here and like, niggas, everybody was from somewhere else. I used to be like, what?
It'd be Chicago, it'd be Detroit, it'd be everywhere but Lansing.
You was born in St. Lawrence, bro. You was born in Sparrow, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't hear that as much, but I remember.
You don't hear it as much these days, but like,
I
remember there was a time where nobody wanted to claim being from Lansing. And when I got to the penitentiary, there was a whole, like, a cloud over being from Lansing. We didn't have a certain level of respect in the penitentiary.
Is there a, when you talk about the ideology and the street morals, is it more idiotic / dangerous on the streets or in the joint? Which one would you say was like more detrimental? Because you'd imagine in here we talk about supposed to be reformed, but we see how dangerous it is. Is people getting?
No, the joint is the streets. I would say prison has a level of organization to it that makes it safer and more dangerous at the same time. It's safer if you maneuver within the system. it becomes more dangerous if you don't. Out here, it's just dangerous because anybody can do anything. Before I got out the penitentiary, a brother told me, Mike X, the plays you run in here will get you killed out there. So
Right.
don't take this shit home with you.
What's it like an example?
So like in the penitentiary, I might be planning to stab you, right?
Right.
And I may send a play at you just to see how on point you is, to see if I can get up close enough to stab you. Now, in the joint, I can make that play happen, and you might even realize that I did it. But you still have to, there's a certain carte blanche that happens in the penitentiary. Certain niggas you just can't run up on how you want to, because it's going to be fallout. And it ain't even about being tough. It might just be he's so loved that it'll be fallout that'll be bigger than who you are to the compound, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can do stuff like that, and you can't really get back, and then next thing you know, you get stabbed. Out here, if I run a play, if I'm playing with you, right, and you get wind of it and you ain't feeling that play, all you got to do is wait outside in my bushes. Nobody has to know that you killed me.
Right.
In the penitentiary, ain't no secrets.
Right.
You can do it and get away with it. But we know. Everybody know. And we gonna handle it. And it might not even come from the people who you did it to in the penitentiary. Because in there, a lot of that is relationship based. It's politics. You feel me? It's about like, dog, like I was the type that people love me in all organizations. The Bloods love me. The GDs love me. The Nation of Islam love me. I was one of they top brothers in the organization. But the Melanics love me as well. And it was some more science brothers in the Moore Science Temple who would stand up and die about me. So like, I might not be tougher than you, but I bet your ass ain't gonna touch me.
Right.
Cause it might be one of your brothers that pop your ass if you put your hands on me.
Yeah, when you got love behind you, it's yeah.
So it was like that.
Is there when you're talking about the youth, do you think that all of them are able to be molded and turned into something, or is the reality of it some of them are lost causes, some of them is just bad seeds? And what do you do with those ones that just don't want to hear nothing you talking about, no matter how you come at them about it, no matter how many real life experience you shoot to them? What do you do to the ones that, nigga, I'm not trying to hear none of that. This didn't went down, that didn't went down. I'm going to. I mean, obviously you can't force them. You know what I'm saying? Not to do shit. But at that point, do you wash your hands with it, or this is like, say, if there's somebody in a program you're involved in? Have you ran into that to where it's just a downright knucklehead?
Yeah, for sure.
And it, like, how did it turn out? Say like the worst case of one you had.
So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the greatest of his followers are still out in the street, right?
Say that again.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the leader of the Nation of Islam, he teaches that the greatest of his followers are still in the street, right?
Damn.
And what that means is, like, as good of a brother as I might be,
it's always work to do.
Man, there's a little brother out there that's a lost cause right now to somebody. And he probably gonna be the sharpest one. That's who Malcolm was, a lost cause. I might not be able to touch him. Just because I have the lived experience that connects directly to him, that might not be the thing that is what moves him. I might be one of the pieces. He may look at me and say, well, shit, that nigga survived it, I can survive. Right? He may need somebody like Marlon Swack from Advanced Peace, who lost his son to gunfire, to violence, right? And he might need somebody like that to breathe on him and hear from a father's experience, like, damn, that's a different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, that's why I try to be collaborative in the community work that I do, because I don't believe there's a such thing as a lost cause. And at the same time, shit, sometimes a nigga just gotta go to the joint. Sometimes a nigga just got to die. That's kind of how life works.
That's the reality of it, though. That's a reality.
Yeah, that's just kind of how life works. So I wrestle with both sides of it. I'm gonna keep coming. I'm gonna keep being out here. I'm gonna keep being in the mix for them. I'm gonna keep standing up for them. I'm gonna keep talking to them. I'm gonna keep being an example. I'm gonna keep doing all of those things. And I hope the others that are doing it are doing their part.
Mm-hmm.
And if it works, it works. It's not necessarily gonna work for everybody. But I know in 2026 there are more avenues of assistance in this than it was in 1996.
Right.
When I was in the mix. Because there was no me to talk to me then.
Right.
There was no advanced piece trying to get in the mix of shit. There was no these the Village Lansing and like all of these organizations trying to, or not necessarily just organizations, because like OGs who done got old enough to look back at their lives and say, damn, dog,
right.
that was not smart. I survived it. I got through it. But man, if I could tell young dog to play, I would tell him this.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us are that now. And it ain't got nothing to do with no organization and no like formal movement or nothing.
Why do you think? Say you take a 40-year-old man that did 20 years,
mm-hmm.
and you take a 40-year-old man that's never did a day in jail.
Mm-hmm.
What holds more weight when it comes to teaching these kids how the right path to take? Why do you think some of them gravitate towards the one that's done it versus the one that can show them how not to even go through it? Because it's almost like, to me, I wrestle with that idea. Like, a part of me wants to ask, wouldn't you want to know how not to? Because there's a saying, it's like a smart man knows how to get out of trouble. A wise man knows how to not
avoid
even.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like, what's the factor that between that smart man and the wise man? Why does the wise man get kind of brushed to the side? Like, oh, well, nigga, you ain't never been through that. I'm not listening to you, because that's kind of like what happens with some of the youngsters. And at the same time, it's like, just because somebody hasn't been through that doesn't mean they weren't doing anything, because that's pretty much my situation. It's like, it was never a straight and narrow. I did all kind of shit. But at the same time,
yeah, hell yeah, I got a homeboy.
I was there doing the same shit with the niggas that went to prison.
My man,
I just knew where to draw the line. Where, like, all right, no, I'm cool. Y'all go ahead. So it's like, which one? Why is there that divide to where does that come from? Is it the excitement of knowing or hearing somebody that's been through it break shit down, or is there no divide? Am I tripping that that's not a real thing?
No, that's definitely a real thing. Me and my dog Mike talk about it from time to time, because he says the same thing. Like, a lot of times they won't hear it from me; they'll rather hear it from you.
Right.
And I know Mike been in the mix,
right?
But he got away essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Part of it is hard to identify with somebody who never got caught and had to like have the evidence of it,
mm-hmm.
because they don't see where your start was. They don't know. They can't like draw the picture of, oh, you came from a bad environment and you made it through that and had to maneuver through these things and you still didn't catch a like.
Right.
In their mind, that's damn near impossible. Mind you, the babies that we're dealing with now are children of mass incarceration.
Right.
Generations of mass incarceration. So like, they know so many people that's been to jail in their lives, mm-hmm. that it's damn near impossible to believe, nigga, you came from the hood in the streets and you didn't go to jail.
It just sounds so far-fetched.
It just sounds so far-fetched, because back in the day, like, it was a different time. Like, the hustlers was hustlers and being smoked, like, then, but they didn't teach that to the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
If you weren't specifically pulled by the coattail by somebody, mm-hmm. or weren't very observant and a little bit ahead of your peers, you didn't learn how to hustle. You saw more fiends than hustlers.
Right.
So you got more of a repeated example, fiend style lifestyle than hustler lifestyle.
Yeah.
Most of us. And take that 2 generations. You know what I'm saying? So like, our young people these days, bro, don't really have a base for any of like what we be having when we talk the older nigga conversations. Like I can remember back in the day, it being like the early crack era. But I think people romanticize the hustlers of it and forget that if the hustlers was making so much money, how many of the people that they was serving had families that they were living around? Like, nigga, if you was a hustler and you made a lot of money off crack, how many people's families was fucked up that was giving you all of their money?
Right.
But niggas don't even consider that. They just, oh, nigga, you, in the
go
90s, you wasn't getting money. In the 90s, you was tripping. Everybody was getting money in the 90s. No, everybody wasn't. Nigga, most of us was growing up with crackhead parents. And y'all was the few niggas getting money.
Because there is a whole, you're right. I never looked at it like that. I've never looked at it like that to where it's, I mean, it's common sense. Obviously, there's dealers and there's buyers, but it's like nobody talks about the buyers. I come from a family on my mom's side. Grandparents raised all of them because my aunts were strung out. So it's like I was on that. I wasn't on the dealer side of it.
Right.
I
wasn't on the dealer side of it.
Yeah,
so I grew up when my dad was getting high. My mom went through a time where she struggled with it. She was able to come out of it, but like at one point in my life, both of my parents was addicted to crack. My uncles, both of my closest uncles, actually all of my closest uncles was addicted to crack. I didn't have any examples of men getting money other than my big sister's boyfriends. When
you hear recently, like with the 21 Savage thing, and the podcast he did with
Bank.
Yeah. He caught a lot of flack for that with the whole streets of death. I kind of feel like a lot of people, we knew what he was saying. We know what he was getting at, but you also have the people that were saying, nigga, since you didn't came out, it ain't been nothing but streets. Now you rich, you a millionaire. Now it's fuck the streets. Is that what do you say to that? Is that productive? Is that forward thinking of him? Did the nigga just finally wake up? Or do you think there was some kind of motive? Or does that not matter? It's like, nigga, once you got the right message, you got the right message.
I believe that everybody wakes up when they wake up.
Yeah. So you can't hold it against them just because
I understand what he said, and I agree. Fuck the streets. I also understand what they be saying when they say, man, no, you can't say fuck the street because you came from the streets and you this from the streets, and all of those two things can be true at once. Multiple things can be true at once.
Right.
Man, fuck the streets. That's from the sincerest bottom of my heart. I don't respect nothing about the streets when I think about overall systemic issues that created the streets in our communities and what we have.
Take.
Now, that's one side. That's one part of it. Mm-hmm. The other part is, man, I am the streets. Thug life, like Tupac said. Yeah. The hate you give little infants, fuck everybody. I remember reading the Thug Life Code that him, Mumi Abu Jamal, Jeff Fort, Larry Hoover, and a lot of the Tookie Williams and the heads of the organizations was building to outline and structure the streets so that the streets stayed the streets and the innocent bystanders stayed innocent bystanders. Right. I respect that too. And I understand that 100% too. Mm-hmm. But like when you look at the overall of this thing, the streets are not ours to be holding on to. That shit ain't us. It's some shit that we just was holding on to because we ain't had nothing else. But I don't want them to be like getting away with just saying fuck the streets and then not doing nothing for them.
Right.
You can't say fuck the streets and not do nothing for them.
Yeah, saying fuck and walking away from it, that's when you on bullshit.
That's some fuck shit.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like the whole I got away from Lansing thing. Like, I plan on moving again one day too, right? But I want you to also understand, like the twins did, you still gotta show love to what made you.
Right.
This is your people. This is your home.
Yeah.
Right? So like, I feel that same way about the streets. That's why I'm always reaching back to the penitentiary. Because I know where I got.
You know where it came from.
Where it came from. I'm not leaving them brothers behind. Right? So like, same thing with the streets. Like, no, you got to give back to the streets though. You can't say fuck them and then turn your whole back. No, you can say fuck the streets, and we moving away from that type of lifestyle. We moving away from that type of activity, and this is what we gonna do.
You you do it in real life, so I don't want it to feel like a broken record to you, but for the AV purposes,
Mm-hmm.
what's just a couple, and this is how we'll round it out. A couple gems to give the youth, or something you tell parents to pass on, because we're not guaranteed that the youth is even going to see this.
Right.
But parents are, uncles are, whoever, the older generation, people our age are. They're the ones that got the kids that can regurgitate it to them. So if it was a message to pass through to you, however they get it, what's one or a couple things that you would hand down to them with your experience, with your knowledge, with everything that you got up until today?
So, like you said, I do it in real time, right? I facilitate a class. I used to facilitate a class at Peckham for 18 to 24-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I look back at like my life, the biggest takeaway that I have, or the biggest thing that I give them, is like take more. What's the word? It's like my curriculums. I am somebody. So like take more ownership of yourself and your position in this world. Like you are somebody. You're valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said at the beginning, New Lansing is about the fact that they building all around you. You need to be a part of that. You need to be part of the building. You need to be a part of the decision making. You need to be one of the leaders that's like leading the charge of that.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I talk to, I say that because the thing that I didn't have is vision. I couldn't see down the future. I couldn't see 10 years from now. All I could see was today.
Right.
And if they can just see a little further down the road, they're like, hold on, man, I ain't gonna die tomorrow.
Right.
I'm gonna be here when I'm 30, when I'm 40. I want to have something. So like vision, longevity, look towards your future. Because I ain't gonna tell you don't make mistakes. You gonna do that.
You gotta be realistic about it.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
gotta be realistic.
I ain't finna be here like, hey man, tell your kids, man, stay out the streets. Like, nigga, you might go to the streets.
Right.
Hopefully when you touch the fire, it's not too hot.
I feel like that's more realistic, and that hits home better than telling the kids, "Oh, well, just stay away from it." You talking to a brick wall when you're doing that. These kids, their friends, other family members, it's like you can't. That's like beating a dead horse. With we didn't all heard that.
Sure.
All of us didn't heard it.
You need to be the loudest voice in their head. If you can be the loudest voice in their head, that's the best that you can do. Just make sure that you are the loudest voice in their head.
But a lot of them, that's all it takes. That's all it took with me. I remember my parents told me and my brother, they said, there's two things we ain't doing. And this is when we was teens. It's jail and babies.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my brother never been in jail. Both of us still ain't got kids. But that's just, that's more of a, both of them are choices.
Thing,
but that was one thing that anytime it was time to do something stupid, my mom said, "If you don't call me," because a lot of parents will say that, but they're gonna pick that phone up and they're gonna run down to the jail. And my parents told us no.
So like, who is your conscience when God talk to you? What the voice sound like? It either sound like your voice, or somebody close to you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, the difference between a lot of it be if that voice is somebody that like you really care about, like your mama, your daddy, somebody who like has impacted you that much. Because I used to hear my mama's voice, but then I also used to hear my homeboys' voices and the streets' voices.
Was the streets' voice louder?
And they were louder than my mama's voice because my mama's voice wasn't reinforced.
And that's natural. That happens. It was stuff for me where the streets' voice was louder.
Yeah.
But I think when it really comes down to it, to where it's a turning point.
Your parents made that.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. The reinforcement. Your parents.
Yeah.
Your mama and your daddy said it.
Yeah.
My mama said don't do X, Y, Z. My daddy never said shit.
Right. So you got half of the.
So the reinforcement, the other saying it, didn't come behind it, and therefore it wasn't loud enough.
That's deep, man. you're gonna have to come back because it's a lot more. But I know how the attention span works. So we're gonna have.
For sure.
I think we're at a good spot. Tell people,
for sure.
Shout your podcast out. Tell people where they can find you. All the good stuff, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. Make sure you tune in to 17 Winters podcast. That's Winters, WINTERS. It is a podcast that's centered in mass incarceration. I talk about the 17 years that I served in prison and talk to people who are either personally connected or they work in the ecosystem of ending mass incarceration. So that's on YouTube. That's on all of the audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of that. 17 Winters, the number 17 Winters.
And social media, if people want to connect with
same
you.
thing. 17 Winters. You look up 17 Winters, I'm going to come up. Be looking forward, because I don't know when we're going to have this dropping, but be looking forward. I got, for 517 Day this year, we're doing a community cookout. So right over there at Durant Park off of Saginaw Street, right downtown. It's going to be hood to hood. So last year I started this new Lansing movement, and I do this community outreach thing called Hood to Hood. I definitely want the Bend the Corners crew out there.
Yeah, we're going to be out there.
Yeah, so we go into different hoods, where they say it's what they call high-risk neighborhoods, and we do community outreach. We just go to the hood, basically canvassing, man, telling people about services that exist. We try to give away free food, toys, whatever we can get for the kids in the community.
Community work, always.
Yeah, so we're doing that this summer. 517 Day, that's May 17th. We're going to have a community cookout to kick it off. Free everything, bounce houses, food, few performances, community stuff, Yeah.
On that note, it's been another one. I want to appreciate you, brother, for your time.
Man, my God. Appreciate you for having me.
Yes, sir.
This is my first interview, bro.
Man, get out of here.
Ain't nobody called me to do no interview. I do all the interviews.
This is going to be the best one.